Welcome back to you slightly heated cherry cheesecake brownie muffin. I appreciate you. Let's go through some juicy updates because there's so much lurking around on Twitter that I have brought here for you. Read this tweet and know my words. I'm going to tell you the lesson right away before you get poisoned. There has never been a Bitcoin cycle where it overperformed the crowd's expectations. Never. Not a single one. Every single cycle, the crowd is too bullish. That's it. Now you might say, well, what about at the bear market? Everyone gets low. We don't care about that. We're not going into that. We're going into a bull. Do you understand? You do understand, friends. If you're drawing a wave here, and I'll show you all the time, right? You're drawing a wave. When you're going up, okay, and then we go down, at the top part, the crowd is still expecting this. That's what they're expecting, but they get down. And then there's the thing. When we go down, the crowd's expecting, this is Bitcoin 15. They were expecting 10. Now we're going back up, right? This is just what happens, okay? It's always diminished gains, always. QE, 0% rates, Elon Musk turbo shilling, buying Bitcoin with Tesla, their own money. $1 billion wasn't enough to push it to 100K. Wasn't enough to break anywhere near the diminishing gains. I mean, we got so diminished it wasn't funny. Do you know, right? In 2021, friends, in 2021, it was such a disappointment. You know what we all did, right? This is every single person. Every single person said, well, in 2013, when they didn't have infinite QE, Bitcoin broke its high by 16x. All right? 16x, 1,500%. All right, well, what should we get from this one? You go, well, that's what we all did. They go, okay, well, if it did a 16x, so up here, it should be 320K. All right? Now, you might say, oh, that's preposterous for 320K. Well, guess what? Everybody was conservative, and they halved it. Did you know that? You didn't. I was around. Not many people had 320K. I thought 320K was going to come because of infinite QE. I was like, well, never before seen they increased the money supply 39%, etc., etc. That's still not even flipping gold. We didn't get it. Do you know what the crowd expected? The crowd expected around here. Instead of a 15x, it was only like a 7x above the high. That's what the crowd expected, 150K Bitcoin. You remember that. And we still underperformed that. Bang. So instead of 150 to 180K, I think the real number was around 180. Instead of 180, what do we go to? That first top 65% to the bottom. Okay, so it's around 65%. Another way to put it, whatever the crowd expects, divided by 3. You can't predict an exact top. Don't even try to. But I'm giving you the zone. If you thought 60K might be a top or 50K might be a top, you were way better off than somebody who thought 150K is going to be a top. The crowd's expectations. Do you get it? The crowd's expectations up here was wrong. Big fat X. Wrong to be with the crowd. This gentleman says, bias is an MF. Last bull market, we had 2 major blind spots. Number 1, 100K guaranteed. Number 2, higher lows. He's referring to Bitcoin's $20,000 level. Clearly wasn't a level at all. It didn't really matter. It didn't even hold, crack through. The all-time high meant nothing. That's what he's mentioning. So then he mentions, in my honest opinion, the big blind spot this bull is diminished returns. Guess what? No, it's not. Because if you go and see everyone's expectations, they are not expecting a diminishing rate that we've been getting for the past 3 cycles. They think this one's going to be the strong one. You know this only happens in crypto, by the way. This doesn't happen in gold, silver, oil. This doesn't happen in stocks. This doesn't happen in any other market. It's only in crypto. I've seen surveys of every other asset class. Crypto banter ran. He put this amazing picture up once. He showed this picture, had the surveys of all the asset classes. And for some reason, expectations versus reality with crypto was like huge. And everybody else was like in line. So everybody in stocks expects about 7% and you get 7%. And so is the other asset classes. Wild. So Mr. Gentleman here, sir, says many people will sell far too much, far too soon. Yeah, I believe that too, man. I don't think they're going to sell at all because they're not going to sell below 100K, are they? No, they're not, friends. Can you see the trap forming? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'm telling you, I can see the trap. I don't want to see the trap. I don't want to see the trap. Let me tell you something. When I came into crypto down here, it was hyper bullish. I did the targets. Now, here's the thing. I was way too hyper bullish because my target of 180K, you have to divide it by 3. You know what I mean? And I was considered hyper back then. I didn't get that same feeling this time. People are going to say, oh, it's bear market. No, I came in the previous bear market. I saw what minus 99% does. I'm telling you, I have one advantage now, though. What's the difference, friends? I'm going to ask you nicely. Actually, I'm going to crank some music right after I do. I'm going to ask you this question. What's the difference between your friend Sommi here and your friend Sommi here? The difference is your friend Sommi here is watching the crowd sentiment and YouTube influencers and knows to fade them. You understand? When I was a new wee little pup, I was not doing that. I didn't even know where to look. No, there was no Twitter. There was no YouTube. There was. I didn't know how to use them. Who did I subscribe to? I don't know. I'm looking at this other stuff. I have no idea what's going on. I was watching non-financial stuff on YouTube. I was still learning about Warren Buffett and stocks. I was learning about heaps of stuff. What am I going to do? Where am I going to invest for the future? I had no idea Bitcoin was going to up. But I first came in. And then look what happened. We have an advantage here. I'm like, oh, I see the pattern now. The pattern is we're all doomed to get screwed. You got to do the opposite. That's my competitive advantage. And luckily for you, you like, subscribe, belly button, all. I don't even tell you to go look at it yourself. I just give you the answer. For free. For free. Because I love and appreciate you. You deserve better. They're all lying to us, man. We're outsiders. We're on the same team. That's why, friends, no one's got anything on me. Why? I'm not selling any product. I don't really care. I don't care. There's no product to sell you. There's no indicator. There's no private group. There's nothing, man. You can't literally do anything. And if I did do anything like that in the future, we can talk about that in the future. But there's nothing. I'm just literally giving nothing. So look at this. Imagine selling $130,000 Bitcoin only to watch it explode to $500,000 shortly afterwards. Pain. Now, when I read this, I wept inside. Why? It's because do you know, friends, my 70% chance of the scam? Yeah. He confirms that it's still a 70% chance. I don't know if you're able to spot it. He mentions 130K Bitcoin. That's not a mistake. It's because he knows the crowd's expectations. You see? The crowd expects 120 to 130. It's around there, around 120. That's the number I saw. So he's like 120. He knows the number, 120 to 130. He knows they all expect up here. That's why I was like, damn, right? You keep seeing this number appear. 120, 130, 120, 130. I keep seeing this number. That's the average expectation. Of course, there's people very, very low. They say we're going to zero. There's people who say 600K. There are those. But until that changes, you know how the story is going to play out. And how the story plays out is how it's played out every other time. It goes, okay, you all expect 120 or 130. That means there will be buyers at 60, 70, 80, maybe a bit of leverage ding-donging here. That's it. No one who believes in 130K Bitcoin is going to buy at 100K. There's not enough money for emotional people to come in. Do you remember I told you they want to make like a 2x? They got to make like a nice, big, fat, juicy number. There's not enough money to go in. Why would you buy up there? No. Anybody who wants to buy up there, think about the mindset. If you came in that late and Bitcoin's 100,000 and the target of the crowd's 130, you're not coming in for Bitcoin. You're coming in for absolute poop coinery. Meme coins, altcoins, who knows, new JPEGs, maybe squirrel JPEGs. That's what you're coming in for. So you know this intuitively. It's just I've spelled it out here for you. I have a fantastic comment here as well from Mr. Davey James, friend of the channel. Very good friend of the channel, right? Sergeant Davey James says, imagine him waiting for $130,000 Bitcoin and then he watches it go from 80 down to 50 instead of his 2x. This is the problem, friends. The problem is when we see this chart, We don't think it's that bad because we're like, oh, okay, yeah, Bitcoin was 69K. Okay, why don't you just get out when I hit this 50% zone here? Okay, yeah, why don't you get out here? This is the problem. The problem, I mentioned this to you, is this 50% move in Bitcoin is minus 75% in altcoins. Everybody's here to make money. Everyone here is for wealth creation and growth creation and value creation and added risk and complexity and new ways of thinking and new paradigms in crypto altcoin land. That's the thing we're all going to be holding. So when Bitcoin turns, you don't get like a 30 or 40% because this number, I know you don't have appreciation. You go, oh, okay, if I had $1 million at the top and it comes down here, okay, I still have $600,000. No, that's a big number, friends. You don't have $600,000 up here, okay? You only have $250K. You've lost 3/4 of your money. And here's the sad part. You don't even get out. No one gets out because everybody thinks high, low, high, low, high, low. That's what everyone thought. That's what everyone thought. Most people thought. But that was obviously this complacency. It's like, oh, here we go. It's over, right? Next comes anxiety, fear. See, if everyone thought, don't worry, we're just going to cool off for the next rally. Where have I heard that before? Where have I heard that before, friends? I've heard that it was exactly, oh, we just need to cool off for the next rally. Golly gee. Do you want to know where they said this? When? They said that, I just showed you the price chart. They said, 40, 50K Bitcoin, first quarter of 2022. They all said this in the news, in crypto, Twitter land, in all the YouTubers. They said it when the Fed was hiking rates. They were in. So what I saw was, I remember this is very painful to relive, but we were watching crypto people analyze the Fed commentary and all the crypto analysts and news media, just everybody in crypto, every person, okay? So I'm not targeting anyone, but everyone looked at the Fed comments and they go, okay, they're going to hike rates. So we're just going to have to let them hike rates a bit and we're not going to get affected because we're not in that system and they're just going to get inflation back down and everything's going to be sweet. All right. That is another way of saying we just need to cool off for the next rally. And you know who else said this? Stock market people. All of the stock market people. That's where the crypto analysts, that's where the crypto people got the analogies from the stock market people. I was watching the interviews. I remember it clear as day because I was like, oh, golly gee, are they even allowed to hike that much? I don't know what's going on. So I'm reading this information for you. Now, I knew there was some evil plan coming to send crypto all to zero, which part of the plan was it, 100% undeniable fact now. We all know this, right? The regulators are working together. The US Feds are working. They're all in cahoots. But now you have an appreciation for this. So you don't have time to think. You understand? It's euphoria. Euphoria is people are buying just to get in. And it happens so fast that those big whales that you think are going to keep the prices down forever, they are partying naked too. You know that, right? I don't know if you've ever seen a whale, friends, but whales don't wear clothes. Whales have been naked the whole time. You ever thought of that? I'm going to have to pump some music here for you. These little whales are actually giant whales. They're naked and they're partying. And I want you to know that just as much as you're enjoying your little $1 million, they are partying because they're looking at 100 million, $250 million, maybe $500 million, enormous dollars here. That's what they're like, oh my gosh, can I be a billionaire? Oh my gosh, like an actual billionaire. I'll be on the Forbes list. But they don't have time to think. They don't have time to think. And just as fast as it goes up, it goes away. All right. So that's why I bring this to your attention because in a nutshell, if you translate all of this, you go, all right, there's a risk here. The risk is that you don't sell on the green candle. You sell on the red. Because you're not because you want to, because you have to. Not because of leverage, but because you're like, uh-oh, it's confirmed here. There's a huge difference. But now you're going to say to me, okay, at the top of which candle do I sell, which is green? We don't know. You never know. We're trimming. We're going to do certain strategies over time. It's going to be a window of time, okay? So that's why this move at 80K, this is the tough part. It might hit $80,000 Bitcoin. you have to act something. All right. So holding is an action. Holding 100% of your portfolio is an action. So saying, okay, Bitcoin's out to $80,000. I will now trim 0% of my portfolio. That's an action there. And you can't say it's not. You can't say, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I've always done. Not after everything I've told you. Not after competitive edge with the cycles. We've got the 4-year cycle, with the Bitcoin halving, you got euphoria. You have all this value creation, wherever ETH BTC may lie. All of these things come into play a part. And you know, okay, there's probably too many green candles here for it to stain forever. I'm going to have to do something. You know, like, I don't want anyone to hurt themselves, but like 5% is not going to kill you. It really isn't. Like, just to tell you something, right? Hex dropped minus 99%, minus 98%, right? If you just got that 5% up here, right? Remember, your bag went from 20 units down to 1 unit. All right. You would be able to still buy up an enormous amount at the low. So just to tell you, right? Let's say your Hex portfolio was $100,000 at the top. At the bottom today, where we are now, it's $2,000. At the top, if you just took somewhere 5K, just 5%, and you said, okay, I'm leaving it in, I'm not doing anything. This is for when sommi says there is ultimate blood destruction, depression, it's game over. I'm only going to buy then. Guess what? Today, friends, even after the rally, today, your 5,000 is still worth more than your whole portfolio today, which means you can literally double your bag today because of the profit you took. You have 2,000 today. You have $2,000 worth, but you had 5,000 on the side. You get to buy it. That's today. Look how long it's been. It's been over 2 years. You see the power of this? This is just a 5% trim, by the way. 5%. Now, you might say, well, what if I don't sell the top? That's why I'm just sharing with you how powerful it is to take something off the table when there's euphoria. That's why we're going to be watching the crowd. Are we going to go to 80K and people are going to say, oh, well, next up 180? Is Jim Cramer going to be turbo bullish? Is there going to be Ethereum ETF rumors? Is there going to be a crypto index released? Is Richard Hart going to be invited on Bankless? I'm looking for those. We are far away from them, but you got to be ready. If you don't prepare now, you're definitely not going to prepare when the green candles finally start to come. Make sure you like, subscribe, Betty button all. Appreciate every single one of you. Tell mom and dad, we are not going to be top signals this time. Catch you next time.